Eggers is back with a new adaptation of Bram Stoker's Dracula, plus a remake of the classic Nosferatu all in one. This is a visually stunning remake that plays out a little too much like all those adaptations that came before it. Robert Eggers' style, vibe, tone, mood and focus on visual storytelling really shines through all the grey of this film. It's a very well made, well crafted film, one that is scary, tense, suspenseful and uncomfortable throughout. It may be the best adaptation of the classic novel to date, if it weren't for the lack of new ideas or concepts within it. If you're unfamiliar with the original works, Orlok, or Dracula, is a vampire seeking to devour a young woman who has made a simple wish for connection, but who soon regretted that wish when it forged a psychic connection with the undead monster. Sadly, the story is the one major weakness of the film. It's now overly familiar, and as such this version of Nosferatu lacks much in the way of surprise, twists, originality, or a clear, unique purpose to exist. Not helping this is the pace and length of the film. Eggers has opted for a slow, methodical pace which might not appease some viewers. While the film is never not worth looking at, some scenes and sequences do little to advance the plot or develop characters. There's a lot of style throughout, but not always a lot of substance, and sometimes there are moments that are completely uneventful and questionably inserted in the film. The cast is great though. The performances of the central cast bring some light and life into the film. Each of them is fully rounded and developed, and even the smaller supporting characters get their own moments throughout the over 2-hour runtime. There isn't a character or actor in the film who doesn't have a purpose or who doesn't feel necessary to what's going on. Willem Dafoe looks to be having a particularly fun time playing his version of Van Helsing, a one-time famed philosopher turned potentially crazed occult expert. Orlok is portrayed by Bill Skarsgård, under heavy makeup and prosthetics, and I suspect some CGI here and there too. He gives the character an imposing, intimidating presence whenever he's on screen, and he has a unique, deep voice that is quite chilling. The overall look of the character is a little hit and miss though. He doesn't resemble the iconic Orlok of the original, instead going for a more Dracula vibe. He's very much part human, part monster, but the choice of giving the character a mustache is an odd one, because it's the one eye-drawing, distracting physical feature, and it bizarrely takes away from the otherwise frightening characteristics on display. The 2024 version of Nosferatu is one of the best adaptations of Dracula ever, only let down by an overly familiar story, a slow pace, and an occasional focus on style over substance. This is Robert Eggers pouring his heart and soul into his craft. The visuals, the cinematography, the score, and the use of sound are fantastic, as are the well-rounded cast. It won't be for everyone, but if you want a good gothic horror and you've not seen a dozen other Dracula adaptations, you cannot go wrong with this one.